Hey there, welcome to the show. It's Les Solgrove with Simply Des Moines. This is the weekly market update show by Simply Des Moines. It's week 6, 2023. We're 6 weeks into the year, and I'm starting to see some trends. And so this week, we're going to talk a little bit about the pace of the real estate market. And we're going to kind of focus a little bit on a couple of the stats here off of today's daily market hot sheet. And just a reminder, this daily market hot sheet appears at DesMoinesMarketValues.com, typically at the end of the day, each day. It's going to show up a little bit earlier today. It's on Sunday, the day I'm recording this. I'm recording early because of the Super Bowl. I want to make sure we don't have any distractions tonight. So putting the show together a little bit earlier than normal today, but the stats should all be about the same. So this market hot sheet here, today we're going to kind of focus a little bit here on the upper left-hand corner, the for sale inventory and kind of the pace that we're on for that. We're also going to take a look at pending sales in that same category there, the where we're at compared to last year, and also year-to-date closed sales. So those are kind of the three categories we're going to talk about this week on the show. So to jump in, I want to give you a little bit of background here. This is looking back to 2019, looking at the homes for sale 2019 to present, and the purple heavier line at the top, that is all homes combined, and you can see the four different subcategories, how they break out down below, blue being existing homes, and then the kind of the green or teal color, that's the new construction properties. Those are the two highest inventory levels. The condo townhomes, both in new and existing sales, are pretty much there across the bottom. So one thing you'll notice here is our typical pattern from 2019 moving forward. We start the year off, we have a little bit of a dip in the spring, in the first part of the year, maybe that first 30, 60, maybe even 90 days into the year, we'll see this inventory drop just a little bit before it backs up and takes off. And it peaks usually around September or so, and then the inventory starts to go back down again every year. And that was kind of what happened in 2019. And of course, in 2020, it started that path. It should have done this, right? It should have gone down and back up again. In fact, we were on track for a pretty normal year that year until COVID hit. And what really happened instead is that we went on this long slide where inventory levels just continued to drop all the way into the first and early part of second quarter of 2021. That's at the point where we kind of started to see a little bit of normalcy again. And you can see we had that little bit of an up and down, typical is what we would like to see in 2021. It came back more last year, more pronounced. And I guess what I'm thinking that's going to happen this year is we're going to see a similar rise. I don't know how high this number is going to get on this graph, but I would love to see us hit 4,000 homes on the market. I'm not sure we're going to do that or not, but we'll just kind of see here. Let's look at the same numbers in sale pendings, and you can kind of see the same pace that kind of happens in the early spring. It goes up, and then usually around April or May, we hit our peak sale pendings, and then it drops off. It's pretty much a straight up, straight down pattern each year. And for 2023, what I'm kind of expecting to have happen here is I'm not sure we're going to see much of an increase in sale pendings this coming year. The pace we're on right now just says that the buyers' activity is a little bit lighter than normal, but it is picking up. And so to give you some hope, we're going to kind of dive in a little bit closer here and look at just year over year to give you an idea. So again, back to the homes for sale, the black line is 2022. The purple is all homes. In this particular case, all homes for sale for 2023. And the pace that we're on, you can see that true to form, we are kind of in this downhill slide here. But the good news is if all things hold true, we should be at the end of this week or at the beginning of this week, we should start to see that homes for sale should start to level off and possibly start to increase if all things are equal compared to last year, because around that second or third week of February all the way into April, we were kind of steady last year, and then it started to take back off. And so we really need this to kind of start to rebound a little bit more for us to feel like our market is really coming back to some sort of more sort of normalcy, which I kind of feel like we are. But just the kind of the interesting thing I also want to point out is the gap between 2023 and 2022, it's remained about the same so far year to date. So let's look at the sale pendings in the same category. These are homes that went under contract. They would have gone under contract anytime prior to today, February 12th. Okay, so this could have been sale pendings from new construction home sales that maybe happened last summer or last fall. It could have been a home sale that happened just yesterday. But the thing you want to notice there is we are behind 2022. The black line is now above 2023. But the good news is you can see we're kind of catching up a little bit. It's kind of narrowing the gap compared to what it was in January. And to give you a little bit more optimism and a little bit more hope here, I'm going to show you the 30-day sales pace. So the previous graphic was just pendings in general. These were homes, we really didn't know when those sale pendings happened. But in this particular graphic, this one shows you the number of homes that went under contract in a rolling 30-day period. So that's why you kind of see them go up and down a little bit. There's a little bit of a weekly cycle there. But the good news is we are picking up the pace rather quickly, and I think that sometime here close to March we should be able to, if all things considered keep moving like we kind of expect them to, we should be back at the same pace as 2022. And it would be wonderful if this particular graphic outpaced 2022 from that point forward. That would tell us that our market is really starting to strengthen a little bit here. So anyway, this is one that we're going to watch. This next graphic is the same 30-day sales pace, except it's just focusing on existing homes. And you can see that existing homes are almost back to where we were last year. And this is also a good sign because this is the one category where we sell about 75 or 80% of our transactions are done of existing home sales. So this is kind of the leading category. And again, the sooner we get above last year's sale pace, that tells us that supply or demand is going to drive supply, and we should start to see more homes come on the market as a result. So just a good pace there. Now, the elephant in the room so far this year is year-to-date closed sales. This graphic represents year-to-date closed sales as of today, February 12th, the day this is being recorded. We currently have 759 homes that have closed in 2023. Now, keep in mind, we ended the year at a little bit slower pace, so closed sales are traditionally a result of the last 30 to 60 to 90 days sales activity, because it's got to go into contract, and then not only go into contract, it also then has to go through the processing, pending sale process and things like that. So if we're sitting at 759 homes today compared to a year ago at this same time where we were at 1,260 and 1,177 back in 2021, you can see that we are actually, for the past 4 previous years, we are behind the pace. And so what I did was I expanded this particular graphic out all the way back to 2009 when I started collecting a lot of this data, and said, okay, where are we really compared to previous years? And if you draw the line straight across, we're really on pace. February 12th of 2015, we were sitting at 739 closed sales to date. And so that tells me that we're right at or just a little bit ahead of 2015 activity. What happened in 2015? Well, we had just come off of 2006 and 2008, 2010, the mortgage meltdown at that period of time. But 2015 was kind of a building year. And you can see that sales kind of increases. If you kind of look at the left, looking back left from 2015, sales activity was increasing, but not at a tremendous rate. It wasn't until COVID hit that we started to see this large scale ramp up of closed sales. So I would say that probably 2019 was probably more of our last normal year, and we're a little bit behind that pace. So another way to look at this is, I always track the days to 1,000 closed sales, and we have not hit 1,000 closed sales yet this year. At 759, we're currently at 43 days out there on the calendar, and we still have a ways to go. And if we look at where does that fall within 2015, so if we are indeed on a pace of 2015, that means that before the end of February, we should hit that first 1,000 closed sales. So we'll watch and see where that is. My hope is that we've got a few sales that are that have happened since January, and maybe they're going to all close before the 1st of March here. We only need another well, I'm not going to try to do math in my head on the show. That would make my brain hurt. But we're not that far from, 1,000 closed sales. So, 240, 241, no, I don't know, well, something like that, away from year to date 1,000 closed sales. But I think we're going to get there. And I think as soon as the market also picks up, I think we'll see nicer weather always brings on more sales. We did have kind of a rough January, a few days there of really, really cold weather, but we'll see how this goes here moving forward. So anyway, next week's show, this kind of leads into that. We're going to spend a little bit of time next week talking about the real estate cycle. I've talked about this in the past, the 4 stages of a real estate cycle, the time period it happens in, from expansion to peak to slow down to recover. And I want to ask you to leave your comments at the bottom of the show today on the YouTube channel, or wherever you're watching this. Leave it in the comments of the channel you're watching this on. What I want to ask you is, where do you feel we are in our current real estate cycle? Are we at the peak? Are we at the slowdown, recovery? We're certainly not at expansion, that's for sure. But where are we? Are we at the peak, slow down, or recovery? Let me know where you think we are and why you say that. And then we'll end next week's show also talking about mortgage interest rates, the 30-year fixed rate mortgage. I revamped the graphic for this, and I've kind of shadowed out what I'm going to talk about next week. You can see this is kind of a breakdown of mortgage rates from 1971 to present, with the divisions on each decade. And so I'll also ask you, if you want to leave your comment at the show, what is the average mortgage interest rate for 2023 or for this particular decade moving forward here? So that's it for the show this week. Enjoy the football game tonight. Let me know you like the show. Please hit the thumbs up button on YouTube. Please leave comments, and please also subscribe to the channel. By subscribing and hitting the thumbs up, that helps push my channel out to more viewers and gets this message out much farther out than just what we're doing right now. So again, thank you all for joining me this week, and let's go Kansas City tonight. Talk to you soon.